watchman, forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word? Yo, still, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, still, we need to know the ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show. Let's go.
We can get a little love to Still Nation.
Hey guys,
Zach says shout out.
Love this channel.
To Still Nation.
Stay tuned.
It's Coffee Talk with sylabdul. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe now.
Wake up in the morning, eyes crusty, heavy yawning. My phone keep going off, so I shut off the alarm and then head into the kitchen to get the coffee brewing. French roast with French vanilla, my own French revolution. Next movement is to tune into Coffee Talk with Sil. My girl starts to yap if I tell her she needs to chill. I hear enough of the yapping from all of these goofy shills. Plus I'm trying to be informed of whatever's the latest deal, for real. I am a FIFA caffeine, coffee gotta have some cream. Fetch a hazel beef for me while I listen to these kings. Silla might be the team. Subscribe to Sylabdul Inc. Wiki got City magazine. Tell me what's behind the scenes, the other side of the ravine. Is it obscene or is it obscure? I am not sure. The rich is the rich off the poor. That ain't no doubt to my core. We just keep asking for more. They keep supplying, demand at the store. As long as it makes it to shore, I know for sure. They'll just keep on making more. Well, I most treasure that piece that have been transformed into corporate Hollywood's whore.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am sylabdul. As we give informative, objective, and dynamic analysis of the latest TV and the geek news. The core of it is DC. The core of this channel is DC Snyder fans, and we're expanding a lot of topics. But when it's notable DC, we live. We live over here. As you see the topics to the the left, the right of it here. These topics here is like my childhood, like on the screen. This is gonna be one of my favorite shows because it's different types of projects, different types of genres, gaming. Much love to Sil Nation in the chat. First off, Sil Nation, no fandom wars. You got other platforms that wants to get all into that mess. Those stupid Olympics things. That's not what this channel is about. But we're going to continue to talk about the stuff that we enjoy. Again, notably DC. Newer people have been finding my channel. This starts with DC with me, and then I have the whole Sylabdul Geek Network, where we do more deep dives into topics as well. To link in the description to the Superman channel, Batman channel, DC, Marvel, etc. Big topics. The main thing people talking about the Superman thoughts. I gave y'all the exclusive of the 30 minutes. Now more people are seeing the full cut of the film. So we got full cut thoughts, no spoilers, but the vibe of the film, we're gonna make it very clear today. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We're gonna make it very clear today. All right. Hot off the presses this morning, the Transformers Cinematic Universe news. Excited for that. Street Fighter Cinematic Universe news. We'll talk about it. And Super Jurassic has been a topic for the past month. Much love to the chat. I see Wild Relic, Chubby Teddy, DL Dub, Speedy, what's good? Maria, Countdown to Superman. Did I say Wild Relic? DJ Twiz, what's good? It was good. Fernando, Hosea, staying up late. I see you, Carlos. Bored at work hating. All right. We got everybody here for this. Now, again, we got the topics. But also too, we have a little box office news. Box office battle. Box office battle going into this weekend. F1, the movie, coming out, releasing, and Meagan 2.0 as well. This is kind of like your low budget Barbenheimer type of situation this weekend. Something for everyone. I've been hearing a lot about this F1 film. So I'm gonna end up watching that, probably $5 Tuesday or something like that. I'm not sure. But definitely, first off, starting with F1. The Thursday premieres is already out there. It's tracking for about $50 million opening weekend. Now, it's distributed, it's from an Apple, right? Apple Films, or whatever they call it, but it's distributed through Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is getting a piece of this pie. 50 million is a decent opening off of like a $200 million budget. But with Apple, I try to tell y'all, with some of these people like to count people's money and say, oh, this film isn't doing well and they're losing trillions of dollars. Apple ain't really doing this to take over theaters. Apple is doing this as expensive commercials for Apple products. They make up their money by just selling another iPhone. So, like I said, this film probably won't break the box office. It's kind of like the demographics of this. I don't know if a lot of kids are going to go check it out. Because I always say with these films, and people scoffed at this when I said this was Superman, but we learned from Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch is that Gen Z is moving the needle for a lot of these films making money. The stuff that they grew up on, that generation grew up on. Now, if you can get some nostalgia for the boomers and bros, and then you get something, for the female demographic, then you have a 4-quadrant film. F1 isn't that. F1's a straight up racing version of Top Gun Maverick, basically, right? And it doesn't seem like it's hitting opening weekend like it's like crazy numbers like Top Gun Maverick did. So word of mouth may keep F1 in the situation, basically. And again, I will check that out eventually. Meagan 2.0. Again, this is another film. This is just this franchise isn't fair. It's not even about that. Low budget horror themed films. You spend less than 20 million or around 20 million on it, you're going to flip it and make a profit. The first Meagan film, they only spent about 15 million on that. And what did they get at the box office? The first Meagan film, nearly 200 million off of like a $10 million budget. Now Meagan 2 comes out. They doubled their budget. They spent about twice of what they spent on the first film. And they're already going to make it up in the first weekend. Yeah, that first Meagan film wasn't bad. Just this is how you get into the industry and make your money. Go make a low budget horror film that hits, and you got profit for days. So again, this is a low budget Barbenheimer situation. Something for everyone. And How to Train a Dragon's out there. That they got about 300 million so far. The Universal film, How to Train a Dragon. How much they spend on that? Let's see. Budget about 150. So everybody's making money. They heating up the theaters until next week. We got Jurassic World coming out. The week after that, we got Superman, Super Jurassic. We're just days away to really see what these films are going to do. That's what we probably going to have a stream every day next week, the way this is going. It's amazing. Let's see here. Meagan was a surprise hit for sure. Elio's not doing good. Yeah, I mean, it's not hidden. It's not hidden like but I think Elio, that film, that can have a life on streaming and things like that, right? So but the summer is getting high. Yeah, next week's gonna be I think a very busy week for me because we're gonna be talking about these numbers as soon as Jurassic World hits. I will say briefly, a lot of a lot of journalists and people are starting to see these films, and um, I would say Jurassic World Rebirth, though the opening weekend may not be bananas. I mean, it's gonna be good. It's gonna make money. Um, Hearing some pretty good word of mouth for Jurassic World Rebirth, and so even if it doesn't do 200 million opening weekend, or even through the holiday weekend, I think the word of mouth is going to carry that, and it's going to be a very interesting second week against Superman, because Superman has all the buzz right now. I don't care what anyone has to say. Superman has all the buzz right now, and we'll talk more of that in a moment as well too. So let's see what we're saying here. It's been poor. Well, I mean, I've seen people like it too, so maybe it's mixed. Maybe it's mixed. I have seen some less than positive reviews, but I've seen some pretty good. I've heard some pretty good word of mouth for that. So, got the coffee and the bagel was good. Mike Wing was good. All right, let's see. Like I said, we got the big topics. Very excited to talk about all this stuff. Before we do that, we got first properly realize the awesomeness that's coming to us in 2027. Denis V directing the next James Bond film. Like that's all it needs to be said. I mean, there's a handful of directors, in my opinion, it's going to cause some kind of emotional reaction to people. And what do I mean? I mean, like right now, James Cameron, he comes out with a film, people have to respond to it, right? Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder, whether you like him or not, is going to cause some kind of reaction to you. And Denny V is on this list as well too, as far as just next Bond. Let's go. For real. Let's see here. I just want to know if you think Superman movies get it out. It looks feels so off to me. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to find out. I got the Tuesday, July 8th screening, so I'm going to see for myself. But I will say today what I hear about Superman. No spoilers though. Denny V. Wild Relic, if you don't know Denny V, get ready. That's gonna be pretty cool. And yes, I'm all for Cavill. Make Cavill Bond. What are we playing with here? So again, this film is going to be he's going to film Doom Messiah back half of this year, and then he'll start on the James Bond, I guess, sometime next year. So it's not coming up to 2027. So we'll see. We'll see how that comes about. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's get into the topics here. Like I said, it was a little breaking news this morning. As far as Bond, people think Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's a lot of buzz behind him actually doing it. I hope it's Cavill. Obviously, I think Cavill's perfect. I mean, he had that film with a Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's been in that genre before. He's in Mission Impossible. He's in all kinds of stuff. So interesting stuff. All right. But we shall see. We shall see. Real quick, Transformers An article came out this morning. We're not really going to read the article, but this is some bullet points from it. The director of Transformer 1, the animated film, which I wish more people went to go see it. I wish more people supported that animated Transformer 1 because that film was pretty good. He may not do any more animated projects, but they're going to bring him to do a live action. What if he does a live action version of Transformers 1? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he does that? That would be great. Also, 2 Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. The last Transformers, Rise of the Beast, pretty much set up the crossover. So we know that's coming as well. Then they're bringing Michael Bay for another live action Transformers film. That's going to make money. That's going to make money. Yeah, Transformers 1. I was about to say everybody liked it, but VEGA don't like it. Okay, I see VEGA didn't like it. I thought that was a pretty good film, man. But maybe it was more people like VEGA didn't like it because they didn't make a lot of money. But it was like the audience reaction was pretty good to Transformers 1. So it's good that director, he's going to get a chance at live action. And again, I think he can do a live action version of that. I would not mind that at all. They can just do the same story, just make it live action. Like, just do it. And again, there's also 2 additional projects that's not announced so far. So apparently with Michael Bay, he's been developing this new film. Paramount is bought into it. It's just he just has to make it good, man. Like just stop throwing explosions out there thinking we're supposed to accept it. But there's 5 Transformers projects in development. All right. Interesting. Now, you know, recently Paramount, what didn't they sell to Skydance? Right. So they want to milk these IPs. I am looking forward to that crossover. Yeah, so with the new ownership, that's what they're doing. So interesting stuff with that. Transformers may do big things. And they should do some streaming stuff too. What's up to Derek in the chat? I don't know G.I. Joe like that. They get, man, in the comics, it was too many times. Maybe tomorrow I'll do another Saturday stream. But in the comics, man, G.I. Joe and Transformers going hard in the comics too. Plenty of cool stuff, man. I see a lot of Superman hype in the chat. Yeah, we're going to definitely talk about Superman in just a moment here. Let's get to the Street Fighter. There's an article out there. And, man, like I said, when talking about my childhood, I mean, again, Transformers, you know, the old animated Transformers film. I think most people around my age grew up on that and saw it many times. It shocked my childhood. I was like, man, people getting murked? Like, what is – I went to school kind of like – that changed me. That Transformers, that original animated film. And then Street Fighter, I mean, this is like me going to the arcades, bro. Like Street Fighter 2 was like a bullet point in my childhood. And this is the cast. And they're adding people, it seems like every day at this point, the Street Fighter film. On the top, you got Ryu and Ken. I think they nailed it. You got that Noah Centineo guy as Ken. He played Atom Smasher, you know, for DC fans. And then homeboy here, what was that? He was in Warrior or something like that. And then you got to inject the Illuminati, so you get Jason Momoa. So this is going to really turn some heads when you have Momoa. People are going to be paying attention to this film. Roman Reigns down there, and then you have a 50 Cent. Like, why not? You need some black guy, so throw in 50 Cent, I guess. With that, yeah, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. That's like my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So, and you throw in Transformers. You know, I'm winning. All right, while everybody else is fighting, I'm winning. Soul Calibur, that's a good one as well too. Yeah, this cast is nuts, right? This cast is nuts. Now we got a little article here, so let me shift here. They also added Andrew Schultz. Now I said online, I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Like, add someone in there just to get their face punched. Then he's perfect. He's perfect for this. Now realize this is legendary. The films, legendary films. Warner Bros. Is going to distribute this. They're going to make this film as big as possible. Right? They're going to do some big things with this Street Fighter film. Legendary is the same people with they help push out Minecraft. They do the MonsterVerse films. They do Doom. Legendary rarely misses. I know people was like, I wonder what this casting. No, I trust Legendary. I trust it because they take a lot of analytics as far as how to make Minecraft a success, and it was mostly them that made it a success. So if they're thinking this is the angle to go, I trust them. I definitely trust them. Let's see what else they're saying. Well, let's see, who's he playing. Now, me and my history with Street Fighter 2, they did what. Because I remember the original Street Fighter, it was kind of trash to me. It was like in this little restaurant. I was in Indiana at that time, and it was kind of like a trash game. And then Street Fighter 2 took over the world, right? Street Fighter 2, I went to the big arcade, and then I think they did like Super Street Fighter 2. Then I kind of fell off after that. So when Andrew Schultz playing Dan Hibiki, I don't know who that character is. Right? I have no idea who that character is. Okay, and he was in Street Fighter Alpha. See, that wasn't my jam, that character. Yeah, this is a great cast, though. This is definitely a great cast. Hibiki is consistently portrayed as an overconfident, arrogant, utterly feeble character. So he's going to get whooped. This role seems perfect for Schultz. While this role will lean heavy on the comedy, don't be surprised if Schultz gets a chance to throw down like his fellow co-stars. No, he's going to get mopped. That'd be they could play that as the perfect moment. Him running his mouth and he gets punched in the mouth. Interesting stuff with that. I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking forward overall. Let's throw that cast back up here. Street Fighter. They're going big, folks. They're going big on this. Now I want to make sure Roman Reigns, he's playing a pretty important character, I believe. I forgot his name off the top. I just had it on the site. Okay, Roman Reigns playing Akuma. Yeah. Akuma's going to be dope. Roman Reigns, he's going to be catching bodies. Who will play Bison? They didn't announce Bison yet. That's going to be huge. I think they're going to get a huge name. I'm telling you, this film is going to be huge. this Street Fighter film. They are going big on this, man. And it's going to, like I say, Legendary is going to win again. I don't have a release date for this film either. So we'll see more updates on that. But with all this casting news, I'm sure they're going to fire up the camera soon. What's up, Peely? Yeah, Akuma's going to catch bodies, man. Who could be Bison? They got to go. But people want Batista. who would I pick as a Bison? Because I remember that original film they made with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I want to say it was before its time. It just probably shouldn't have happened. And then somehow they came out with a worse Street Fighter game. Like the movie wasn't that good, and the game was even worse. But M. Bison, in that film, Raul Julia played him in the original film. Was it in the 90s? So you need someone like Regal, So who would I pick? I'm terrible at casting, y'all. I'm trying to think just off the top of my head, who would I want to be M. Bison? Like a believable. And y'all may not like when I say this, but I will take Josh Brolin as M. Bison. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. But that was such a good idea. Like my camera messed up. That's how. That's how great of an idea. Peely got the guest of the day right there. That was. I would say Brolin, but I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be the best. Nah. Clearly, Jeffrey Dean Morgan should be in by. I see. That's what I say. I'm not that good with casting, but you said Henry right before the Superman part. We're about to get into Superman right now. Oh man, wouldn't that be crazy? Like it just shuts down right now. It's wild, bro. It was too much energy. It was too much energy with that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, man. Let's hurry and get through this before this shuts down. So with Superman, it's been a lot of talk about this film going forward. That's kind of interesting. It's been a lot of talk about this film overall, and as I said, in the years going on 5 years now doing content, this has been the most discussed film. Like Snyder Cut was one thing that was a global phenomenon. Right behind that, this Superman's been talked about like crazy. It's causing an emotional reaction overall. I talked to y'all about the 30 minutes as far as what the people that saw it, what they thought of it, and things like that. We're going to talk about the final cut, which is being screened, like I said, to journalists, to Shields, and everyone, right now is seeing it. And then I'm going to see it in about 10 days. So first, there's this clip that's causing a lot of conversations. So let's throw this up real quick. And I don't have the sound. I don't have the sound. Okay. So I think y'all seen this clip though. A lot of people had a lot to say with that. And actually, I didn't want to play that. Yeah, I did. I did want to play that. Okay. Yeah. Let's let that play. So, the media blitz of this film, right? It's definitely like taking. They're blitzing. Like Peely said, yeah. The Barbie marketing budget. They're blitzing. Different avenues. You've seen it during the NBA games, and you're seeing clips and everything on social media. They weren't playing. A couple weeks ago when I went live that weekend, I was like, yo, I'm hearing they're about the blitz media with this marketing. They definitely have. We talked about the pre-sales. Again, I don't care about agendas. They set the pre-sales record for Fandango for the year. The website did crash. All the box office projections for July has Superman ahead of Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is tracking pretty good. Superman's just tracking better. Jurassic World is not tracking as much as them, but I think the word of mouth is, again, going to carry Jurassic World. And it's going to be a very interesting week, too, with that, how that's going to do against Superman. Because we thought a month ago, right, it was a given. It was a given. Jurassic World was going to just blow everything away. And then they put that money that, like Peely said, that Barbie money into Superman. Now, yeah, it's going to be a real challenge for Jurassic World this second weekend. And as far as with Fantastic Four, I want to get y'all thoughts on this with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four just came out with his final trailer, right? Now you got Superman with his trailer, his final trailer. And I was like, I'm going to be honest. I kind of like Superman's final trailer better than Fantastic Four. I want to get y'all thoughts on this, like how you think these trailers hit, because this is like the final impressions. Everyone, I mean, again, a month ago, everyone was just assuming Fantastic Four was going to, Marvel was going to win, and then DC put that money up, and it's like, man, DC is really leading the conversation. This is rare. This is rare. When it comes with DC versus Marvel. So let's see. I'm going to watch Superman. I'm going to watch both. Yeah, the marketing has been crazy. The market's been crazy, man. I just think Superman's been hitting a little better. But obviously, most of us is going to see both. Most are going to see both of this. So you feel like Superman's been marketed more. But yeah, Fantastic Four, and I was talking to Carlos about this. Fantastic Four has had its full marketing rollout. I mean, that's what I'm saying, how DC's flooded the market. Fantastic Four had its full rollout. And it's tracking well. It's just Superman, DC somehow has overtook Marvel as far as, again, just marketing, just up to this point. Obviously, the film has to come out. We have to see what happens, with the film. So yeah. But yeah. So let's talk about, though, this final cut. Again, I had people that saw the 30 minutes. Now we have people seeing the final cut. It was Wednesday and Thursday. So this may continue through next week. Now, there is a social media embargo. Now, this doesn't apply to me. I'm independent. I just leak stuff. But we're not going to spoil anything today. I just want to make that clear. But these people are seeing this film this week. And the social media embargo is July 7th. It lifts that Monday. And then Tuesday, the review embargo releases the day that I'm going to see it. The Tuesday screening. So you won't get like official stuff being put out there. So let's just kind of talk about it, right? So I think the first thing I want to say with this, as far as what I heard with the Superman, with the final cut, is when my source first said the 30 minutes, like, oh, it doesn't even feel like a James Gunn film, right? It was like, you if you wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't have known it's a James Gunn film. The final cut, no. This James Gunn's fingerprints all over it. Now, this is going to cause an emotional reaction from everyone. If you're coming into this saying, saying how you feel about James Gunn, I hate James Gunn. Let's get that comment out the way. You're not going to like this film. Okay? Or if we go a step further, just say you hate James Gunn. Just say it. I'm gonna have to add DC and Warner Brothers in that too. Yeah. If that's your attitude going into this film, you're not gonna like it. Okay. So let's just get that out the way. There's nothing I'm gonna say that's going to change anyone's opinion going into this. Now, if you're on the fence, and again, that James Gunn thing, if you feel like, oh, it's going to be a little too goofy, it's some Gunnisms in this film. Like you saw in the trailer, you saw some of the silly stuff, right?
Stop! I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Stuff like that. That's throughout the film. I would say, as far as what they were saying, like, right, every other scene, you're reminded, hey, this is a James Gunn film. Now, how that lands with you is how that's going to land with you. You see what I'm saying? Because then he comes with like decent stuff. When you get to like some of the action shots and things like that, they're like Gunn is bringing the action, but then he reminds you within the next 5 minutes that this is his film. So this is what I thought the film I was getting probably since like the 5-minute preview. I was like, I'm going to have this probably uneven experience where it's going to be cool stuff. I think it's going to be cool visuals, but then it's going to be Gunn reminding you, this is my film, guys. Now, they did say, too, because that's one thing, because I wanted to address the James Gunn thing. It's going to be some wacky stuff, some wild stuff in this film, larger than life. I mean, you got a kaijus, the Justice Gang. They did say they really like Nathan Fillion. Again, it's all about taste as far as with that. But so that's one thing. If you're not a James Gunn fan, you're not going to like this film. All right. Let's get that out the way. DC Universe fans, they're saying, again, this is what they're saying. This is some of the best and biggest and brightest DC moments they've ever seen on a big screen. Now, if you think about that statement, because I know people are going to have visceral reactions to what I'm saying today. Yeah. He's a total douche. And it's like, obviously it's on purpose, and they say it really lands in the film. The biggest and brightest DC moments on the big screen. What have we had on the big screen? If you think about it, if you're talking about Batman, that wasn't about biggest and brightest moments, right? That was kind of like, Dark Knight. It was really Batman Begins, I thought, was the best moments in that entire trilogy. Like I said, Batman Begins is the best Batman film ever. Dark Knight is a really, really good film, but I don't feel like it's a Batman film. Okay. But even in Batman Begins, we didn't have big moments. If you think of the Tim Burton run, it wasn't really like big moments. So this is something new. This is something new that we're getting here. And they said this is, they want to really stamp as far as the style and the look of how DC will be before they shut me down here. And everyone that's saying, it looks like the Flash and things like that with the Flash. It doesn't have the CGI problems that the Flash had, right? But those camera angles, and I always compare everything when I say with the Flash, when they break out Supergirl and Michael Keaton, it's like, let's try not to die. That camera angle, and then you see Supergirl comes down. That's how the action is going to look. And again, we saw a lot of clips. That's how this action is going to look with the film. So checkpoint so far. if you already hate James Gunn, it's the film that you are expecting it to be. Okay, so it's like let's stop fooling ourselves. Like, oh, I heard it was bad. Well, because you wanted it to be bad, so it's going to be bad for you. So that's why that's when I say, when I say like, you already made up your mind. Like it's not really a conversation for people that's already like, oh, I'm going to hate it. Yeah, you're going to hate it. Okay, so we'll leave that there. But again, the visual style and everything they're trying to throw in there, they're saying that they really have nailed the look of what they want for DC. Definitely, yeah. No, and like I said, I mean, this is the most color and everything that's been put in a DC film. And if you think about it, Superman Returns is supposed to have been, that continuation of Donner Superman, and that was kind of like a darker shade. As far as with Man of Steel, I'm considering that like Elseworlds at this point. As far as everything that Zack Snyder did, that's the Snyder verse, right? Do Dub says, "Is it Warner Bros. 84 or not?" So it's some wild stuff, right? It's some wacky stuff in this field, and I have to see it for myself, right? So I'm just going off what I'm hearing, but I'm expecting that type of experience where it's gonna be cool action again, but then it's James Gunn. Every like 5 or 10 minutes, he's gonna pop up. Hey, James, this is a James Gunn film. Don't forget that. Don't forget. That's really how the film is laid out. Now, will that bother me personally? It's gonna be about execution. I did like Guardians 3. And that's a James Gunn film, right? So what would I think about this film? We'll see. We'll definitely see. Yeah, definitely that open world. You feel like it's a reboot, according to what they say. Like it is a new DC world, and it's colorful and wild, and like I said, with the crypto stuff, like I was saying before. They pretty much showed you all the crypto stuff, except one moment of crypto, and that's in the third act. I'll just say that. Let's see. Hold on. Let me put this up here. Let me see what else you're saying in the chat, because maybe that'll spark what I'm trying to say here. Wonder Woman 84 was cringe. I will say this. I don't think Wonder Woman 84 was pretty bad. I mean, I guess let's put it out there. Like what? Because I didn't enjoy Wonder Woman 84 either. But what didn't we like about Wonder Woman 84? Maybe we can compare as far as what I heard with this film. If you could put it in the chat, what didn't you like about Wonder Woman 84? Because I thought the opening scene was the best part of the film. Like it's probably the only part of the film like I wouldn't mind if I'm scrolling on TV and you're on TNT and like Wonder Woman 84 starting, and then I'll watch that first scene where young Diana does the obstacle course or whatever she's doing, and then when it comes to present day, it's like I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna change the channel. But what didn't we like about Wonder Woman? Because I like to define this stuff. You're definitely an open world feel. You feel like this is like the beginning of something. Like you're thrown into the middle of the world. We talked about, I don't know if I talked about on the channel, they got the open and crawl, and it basically just catches you up on the DC world, and then it drops you right into the crypto take me home scene and and stuff like that. Right. Yeah, you feel like you're just in a living, breathing world, and it's kind of, I guess Star Wars is probably not the best example overall, but as far as world feel, when you start episode 4, you're like, this world has a past already, and stuff going on. That's what James Gunn was trying to do with that. You rather watch She-Hulk? No, She-Hulk is, man. I don't even know what would I watch. Let's see what's saying in the chat, and then we will. That'll probably help me explain better. Why can't I have this one thing? So you didn't like Gal Gadot's performance. Performances in this film, like it's consistent with the screening, what they told me, the early screenings. Nicholas Hoult, everyone really likes Nicholas Hoult. David Corenswet, different Superman. Very different. You haven't seen this type of Superman performance. And again, whether either it's going to land with you or it's not. Everyone really likes Lois Lane. Like I said, the Mr. Terrific stuff, people's like, he's pretty good. He's in some pivotal points, like in the second act. But they said Guy Gardner is like, I won't say like in the bad way. It's like, it's not like he's like not in his own movie. It's just he's in his own world. Like Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion just going for it every line. And that may annoy some people. That may like some people. I don't know. No end fight with Cheetah. Just the entire plot. Yeah, listen, Warhammer 84 is really bad. So I'm definitely not getting those types of reactions to so far with this Superman film. It's more of the, again, it's going to have the Gunnisms. I would say every 10 minutes of the film, James Gunn is going to remind you it's his film. That's going to either annoy people or not. But Gunn, let's not pretend, Gunn knows how to structure films. Like, even if he has his moments, where he breaks the levity with jokes, James Gunn, he knows how to structure a film. And so I wouldn't even put Wonder Woman 84 on Gunn. It's just, if you think it's too goofy what he's doing, I think that's what's going to be the problem. So yeah, I wouldn't even say that. And like with the Flash, with this film, with the Superman film, they don't feel it has the third act problems like most of these superhero films have. And it's so many battles throughout the film. So it's like they don't rely on that third act CGI as much. I guess that's the best way I can say it for Superman. So yeah, Wonder Woman 84 is not even a good comparison. It really isn't. Yeah, the tone. Yeah, Wonder Woman's all over the place. The crappy, cheesy open. I like the with little Diana. The other, you didn't like the opening. I thought that was the best part, young Diana. But that's cool. Let's see. Will we get multiple mentions of different Superman villains? This is what I would say, because it's a live action film, and like I said, we're not going to really spoil anything today, but the Pocket Universe with Lex, I could see that being a catalyst. Like, there's going to be some interesting moments in the Pocket Universe. I'm saying too much. Put your comments and questions in the chat. Kentucky internet is closing in on me. I'll try to answer what I can, and again, compared to what I was told. But overall, like I said, just from the people I talked to that saw the final cut, one of them was a James Gunn, like Shield. I hope you don't get mad every time I say that about him. But so I knew he was gonna like it. Like, I I wasn't even surprised when he was like, bro, then some other objectional type of thinking people. Those are the ones was telling about the Gunnisms and was like, yeah, every 10 minutes, James Gunn might as well just put a picture of himself every 10 minutes in the film. Something will be happening with Superman. It'd be some good action, some good moments with Clois, good moments with that. And then James Gunn, hey, this is my movie, guys. All right, continue. That's what they see. James Gunn should have just walked in front of the camera every 10, 15 minutes. Like, oh, it's James Gunn. Okay, let's start watching Superman again. Let's get back to Superman. That's my best explanation of the film. Now, will that annoy you? Will that cause rage in you? Then you probably won't like this film. But if you're just like, he's doing some cool stuff, he's going to stamp it as his, then you'll probably get through the film okay. Gunn knows how to make you care for characters too. No, you don't look at Superman as dumb. As far as what I'm told, it is kind of clear, when it says like his third year. So Superman is going to make some mistakes in the film, right? So I wonder, because I'm not like a Superman purist, so I do wonder how just purist Superman fans, how they're going to accept, young. This is another thing too, and comic readers may catch what I'm saying when I say this. Yes, the whole animated Superman vibe, that's one thing. The vibes of the film overall and what this Superman is. This is more of like the New 52. Who wrote that one? When he had the jeans on, New 52 Superman. I want to make sure I got the writer of this correctly. Who wrote that one? Let's see. This is. They're not showing me. Hold on, I got to find out who wrote that one. Someone in the chat may have thrown it out there. Grant Morrison. Thank you. It's kind of like the Grant Morrison. And he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes in this film. And I just wonder how that's going to, cross over to people. People asking about Transformers in the chat. Yeah, go back to the beginning. It just broke this morning. They got 5 projects of Transformers coming out. Gun coming for you. Only part to my 184. Yeah, I said the beginning is great. I think that's is well shot. Good character development, like in the first scene. It's like Superman animated. Well, yeah, that's what I said in my last stream. Live action, but again, his character of Superman is more of that New 52 run. You don't feel like it's definitely, I mean, Gunn already said this, like it's not God level Superman, but you feel like this Superman, if this film does well and we get more iterations, you feel like this Superman could grow. You know what I mean? Gunn is kind of putting it where he can become prime Superman in the future, right? Post-credit scene. I'll probably do probably put that one on my Patreon. Post-credit scene. Yeah, I would say it's expected. What's expected in the post-credit scene. Yeah. That's another good comparison. The Man of Tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure Gunn took pointers from all this stuff, from the Superman animated, New 52, early New 52 run, Man of Tomorrow film, definitely. Young Superman. No, definitely. It's room to evolve. And that's really the carrot that Gunn, I think. And again, this is me putting together what they said. What he's holding out in this film is that, you know, he has everything inside as far as Superman. The Kal-El that we know, but he still has room to grow as far as the actions that he takes. That's what this film, it's probably like a big lesson for him, because Lex throws everything at him in this film, you know? And so that follow-up, and, you know, obviously, I mean, I expect him to show up in Supergirl briefly. I think you're going to see that maturation. And like I said, you've never seen a Superman. I mean, we saw Smallville, he grow up, and he just becomes Superman. And Donner, you know, we see him grow up and he just becomes, you know what I mean? It's like there's still room right there. There's still a story right there. You know what I mean? After he dons the costume, but then he becomes Prime Superman. That's what Gunn is trying to tell, right? Then he pops up every 15 minutes. Says, hey guys, this is a James Gunn film. All right, back to Superman. Let's see. I want Superman to have that all-star Superman intelligence. The sci-fi parts, they say that's probably the strongest parts of the film. Some of the strongest parts of the film is that whole sci-fi element. Of course, the fortress, robots. Then you have the big kaijus and things like that. The pocket universe, we haven't seen. That's a very important part of the film. The pocket universes. That's Gunn's way of introducing some very interesting elements to this DC world. You already know Metamorphos in there. There's other stuff in there, right? We haven't seen a lot of this film. That's another thing, too. I think people have echoed this. This is all early act type of stuff. Overall, we haven't seen a lot. The logic for the trunks is that he wears them. He's probably kind of frightening. Okay, that's funny. Interesting. Again, I'll go another 3 minutes here, but overall consensus, just from everyone I talked to, I'll take out the glazing, because the Glazer is saying, you know, this is the best DC film since Dark Knight, right? They're saying if you have any problem with the Snyderverse, you're gonna love this film. That's what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? We'll take out the Glazer comment. Consensus, you know, it's a fun film, colorful, a lot of action, and that's really all I wanted, the action. I was like, you know, please do a lot of action. Again, it's going to be those moments. Gunn's is throughout the film. And they think, like I said, it's a solid DC entry, you know what I'm saying, overall for it. They definitely feel it's better than the Flash film. And I thought the Flash film was okay. The third act wasn't good for the Flash. You know, it kind of bottomed out. But so they don't think this film turns into that. And like I said, the pocket universe, that's the main thing I'll say, because we'll wait a week or about 10 days or so, and we can talk more spoilers. But pocket universe, Very interesting. Main man Dano says, will they sell DC? Well, this film has to come out first. It's the same timeline, no matter how many times it's asked. Is that they want to determine the value of DC. They're going to split the company in 2026. It's going to be streaming in studios, including DC. So that's Warner Bros. Pictures, HBO Max, DC Studios, gaming. All that stuff is on one side. They're leaving the TV news, Discovery on the other side. That linear TV and stuff like that, that's the least profitable stuff. The studios and streamings is the big stuff. If DC works, because I went on a limb and said this a few weeks ago, I think this film Superman is going to make enough money. I think it's going to have 100 million plus opening. Obviously, if the audience score is there, then it can soar overall. And so Gunn is going to get his first wave of DC up into the Supergirl film next summer. Now that Marvel moved out of next summer, DC can really take over, which we never could say that about DC, because DC may take over July. It may take over next summer as well. That's when it's going to be determined. Are we making money off of DC? Right? Now, if they feel they are, if Superman does 600 to 700 million, they're happy. 500 to 600, they will spend it as they're happy. Less than 500, they're worried. Then Supergirl, will determine a lot. But I think the Superman film is going to do okay. I think Supergirl is going to do as well or better next summer. And Gunn's going to get his extension. So they're not going to sell DC in that situation. If Superman, like I said, does under 500, that's a total defeat. And then you're kind of worried about Supergirl next year. And then they'll probably be like, okay, let's go ahead and separate DC now and see the value. I'm not seeing that scenario happening now because of this marketing push for Superman. The pre-sale numbers is outpacing Marvel right now. So I try to just deal with reality. Now, what people wanted to happen was, Superman's DOA day one. It's the numbers aren't showing that. It's just not. It's outpacing every film this summer. That's real data. That's not, I want this to happen. And, people that hates the film and they cry about it every day. You're not helping this film tank. You're making it clear. And Gunn's kind of have like a meta joke in there where Superman is aware of his online haters. That's like a meta joke in the film. So y'all making it very easy for people to say, oh, those are the toxic haters. I say it like this. Marvel just came out with this Ironheart project. And on my Marvel channel, links in the description. Check out the entire sylabdul Geek Network. It's an average Marvel project. It's nothing super spectacular about Ironheart. But you had people review bombing it before it even came out. So it's like you're making it easy for people to say, oh, those are the bad guys. And they reminded me that it was coming out. I was like, oh, let me go watch Ironheart. It's not the best thing. Marvel should get away from spending so much money on Disney Plus. Do more street level stuff. And keep bigger characters for the theaters. You can have like the quick cameos. But I don't know in anyone's world, if you hate a film and you're talking about it every day. I don't know in what world does that help that film tank. I don't know. Y'all let these people that's anti-woke and stuff, y'all let them mess up your film discourse because you think somehow you're helping a film fail by trying to talk about it every day. The best thing you could have done. Now it got the numbers. Now Superman is actually going to succeed, I feel. So you failed because you made it clear. They came out on the trades. Oh, toxic fans hate Superman. So it already has its numbers as a point. Someone says, I just want to know if it's a good movie. I just talked about it a good 30 minutes. I did try to get an idea of how they ranked it. Now this person, they think, Nolan is God, basically. So they put this, behind Dark Knight, behind Batman Begins. They did like Man of Steel. So I guess let's as we close out, let's touch on this. Let's touch on this. This versus Man of Steel. Let's just do it. Yeah, I think 700. I think 700 is where. Let's just briefly touch on the Man of Steel comparisons. I think Superman has a chance to be the first $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion, like I said, James Gunn, I think the critics are going to like this film. Those are the ones that's telling me they love it right now, right? So this is going to get high scores, critics. Let's just stay in reality, right? It's on that audience score. This film needs at least an A- or higher audience cinema score. High 80s audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Then this film could get over 700 million. Yeah. I think if it gets a B+ cinema score and like a low 80s audience score, then it'll be fighting to get to 600, in my opinion. So we'll see. Someone says the panic is real. Well, like I said, I mean, as far as with Snyder fans, just like DC is fractured, I think the Snyder fan base is fractured as well. And I think there's many Snyder fans that watches my channel and that has an objective and open mind about stuff, and they don't want to be represented by idiots online who just wants to do stuff for clickbait and hate. Though they're the first ones to buy tickets to this film, but they want to hate every day on it and stuff like that. That doesn't represent all Snyder fans. So I'll just say that. There's some that have an open mind. There's some that they're just not going to rock with this. And that's fine. You don't got to be idiots and clueless online every single day. I've seen so many idiots online right now. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous at this point. Let's see. Okay, we got people fighting in the chat. Okay. All right. So, last thing I want to talk about, then I'm going to completely close this out. One person, there was like, Corenswet is given more, like I said, of this. Is brash a good word? You feel like Superman's a little naive in this film. And you compare that to, again, the last depiction, Henry Cavill Superman. Superman, it was more of just like, I mean, you just kind of threw him right into the fight. So it's kind of hard. You kind of got to compare this more to BVS Superman, where the uncertainty that Cavill had as Superman, that's one thing. This Superman, Corenswet Superman, is just, you just feel he's a little naive in this film. And I think it's on purpose. I think it's on purpose that he has that naivety in it. So that's one thing. That's one thing. Now, in Man of Steel, you had this whole discovery story of Superman. Then he gets a suit, and then it's boom, it's Zod and the Kryptonians. Gunn puts fights throughout this film. And so they said just comparing, they think both the action looks good, right? Both the action looks good. But just the sheer quantity of Gunn action fights. They said they enjoyed all the action in Gunn, and it seems like in Man of Steel is a build up to it. I mean, I feel like I said, Man of Steel is the best Superman film ever. They do feel Man of Steel was closer to like the Donner style, actually, of the Superman story. Gunn is doing something different. So, like Superman purists, I think y'all like Man of Steel. Y'all like the story. I mean, the neck snap stuff, I don't know. That people argue about that, but or he letting his father die and stuff like that. But I think that's closer to the Superman purist story, Man of Steel. This here, what Gunn's doing, again, early New 52, exploring the whole DC world, a lot of Lex Luthor, in this film. This isn't like a quintessential Superman story, according to them. Like, this is just like, a day in the life, right? So if that makes sense, these are just two different films. Man of Steel, origin, Gunn is just big, wild, and crazy DC world, right? Colorful overall. But they do like, with all that said, they do like Corenswet as far as he's given more of a range. Like, you see him more of the story. Cavill, like I said, he grew up and then he's Superman. Let's go. Just like Donner. That's what Donner did. Gunn is kind of stopped. Like, he becomes Superman, then there's more of a story there. So it's just different. It's hard to compare those two, right? But they did like that. Like I said, Corenswet's doing something different. So, okay. Action, they said Gunn is actually just technically giving more action. So they like that. Like I said, villain, like I said, Lex, they feel Nicholas Hoult, they hope to see him like in every DC project at this point. As far as they're like, Nicholas Hoult is great. What else? Cavill captures Superman's bearings. And I think, I don't know if it's unhinged shout is the best way to say it, but it's just, this is an early year Superman, and you're going to see him make mistakes. You're going to see him make mistakes in this film. Hit the like button. Shout out to you. Yeah, this is just a different iteration. This is really a different iteration. I know I said 3 minutes. I'll start closing. I got to start closing now. But very interesting thoughts with that. And like I said, coming into it, whatever you thought of this film, going into it, I don't see anything changing your mind. If you're on the fence, just know it's a lot of Gunn moments in this film. So if that sways you either way, if you feel like you're gonna be bothered by that, then this may not be the film for you. If you think you can get past that, see the DC world, it's a new iteration, then that's what this film is going to be. It's for Yovic. I hate James Gunn. Let's get that comment out the way. Oh, and WB. Just say you hate James Gunn. Just say it. I'm gonna have to add DC and Warner Brothers in that too. Yeah. That was just for Yovic. See, I got 2 minutes for real now. So let's see. I'm trying to do like Star-Lord iteration. So this part, this is what I will say. And I don't know if y'all this may bother some people. This part,
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
There's multiple. Superman tells multiple jokes in the film. And I don't mean like tell jokes. Like there's comedic moments, especially like the online stuff. Like that, there's this joke with Superman seeing his haters online. So Corenswet, he has comedic multiple. It ain't just this.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
It's more situational. I will say that though. It's not like Guy Gardner just quipping it up. That's not what Corenswet Superman's doing. But it's just comedic moments. So I can't say Star-Lord, Vega, because Star-Lord is kind of chasing the jokes. Superman's not chasing. It's far to what they said. According to what they said, Superman's not chasing the jokes like Star-Lord. So I have to disagree. I disagree with that take. Oh, just WB. Okay, I gotta change that now to make it WB. Okay. Corenswet, the weakest part of this film? No, I wasn't told Corenswet's the weakest part. They said they don't feel like you got enough Hawk Girl. They said actually Hawk, and I don't want to say like weak, but just that they don't feel like you get a lot of Hawk Girl in this film. So, yeah, Corenswet, he's in the film so much. If they like the film, I'm pretty sure they like Corenswet in that as well too. So, interesting stuff. This is again just the early final cut impressions. Again, even my sources, they didn't really want to spoil too much yet either. I mean, they're not going to talk about it publicly, but even to me, they didn't want to spoil the entire film. But there's different bits. Like I said, the Pocket Universe, keep that in mind when you see the film. We'll talk more about this. We got to get through next week. I'll probably do a stream. I try to do Saturday streams. But then during the week when Jurassic World drops, we're going to be talking about numbers every day that drops pretty much. And then leading into the Superman release, super Jurassic overall. It's going to be kind of nuts. It's going to be kind of nuts this summer with this overall. I'm definitely going to be reaching out to people again. Usually Vega does. Vega, we may have to get a session. We may have to get a session this weekend, Vega. We got to talk about this marketing and what's going on with this film, how that's landing with people, how it's not landing, and probably discuss just some of the stuff I heard as far as that this is very much a James Gunn film, and just what does that mean to to different audiences. So I'm gonna cue that up with Vega. I got other exciting stuff around the channel that looking forward to. And like I said, check out the Sylabdul Geek Network. We're gonna talk more about the Ironheart show this weekend on the Marvel channel, and other DC stuff as well. More deeper dives. And then when it's like notable DC stuff, I'll put a show together and kind of go live, and box office stuff as well too. All right, we got to start closing down. It says it's not just jokes though. In fact, he's naive. Yeah, he's naive in the film. Oh, okay. So you're saying with Star-Lord naive? Oh, okay. I kind of. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah. That may be a good discussion we can have about that as far as what I heard with Superman. So I'll hit you up, for sure. With that, like I said, links are below. If you haven't already, smash the like. Make sure you subscribe. We're just getting started this summer, man. This is going to be a very interesting summer of activity on this channel. Much love to Still Nation. We got, like I said, more stuff to discuss for sure. Before I spaz out anymore, we're going to slide on out of here. I got to go to my day job now. That's how we go. We do this for fun, and we get on out of here as soon as I find my button. But yeah.
Stay tuned.
Sylabdul ink to speak true as he bring the news. Coffee talk, stay brew, kick back, get real comfortable. Here to stay, no on delay, make sure I be's informed. On the road, on the go, playing ball on that pavement floor. It's the lifestyle right now, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Guaranteed all week's going to always be on time. That's my word, y'all heard from Vino Vega's mouth. What's the worth much more than what these networks talk about?